right, everybody. So if you guys are in the chat, make sure you give the video a like and put a 1 in the chat if my audio is good, and we will get started today. I see we already have some confusion about something that's not about the topic today, which is not about debating between immigration and expats. If you guys are confused on the difference between immigrants and expats, you can go watch my video that I did about that last year. What I said an expat was and what an immigrant is. Nothing to lose sleep behind, though. So today we are bringing back the panels that we did like we did earlier this week. But if you guys don't remember, Fearless was one of the guys that I brought on my panel whenever I was in Sao Paulo, and we discussed these topics over politics that are related to Americans living abroad, whether if you believe it or not. And this could be good and bad. We did a similar topic to this last year, but with Donald Trump in office, it is a topic that needs to be revisited because he has a lot more of a stronger foreign diplomacy than Joe Biden did, because Donald Trump is basically instigating things. He's doing whatever he wants, per se. So we're going to go over that topic. And then, of course, I know many of you want to know, we're going to cover the Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb situation and why I like his content. I like Anton Daniels' content, but I do feel that he is pandering very hard to his MAGA crowd. So we're going to turn on the comments on stage. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave a super chat, or you can send a Cash App $ Austin Holloman, because I have my own script. And I'll be following by my scripted questions that I have. And maybe at some point we will go to freestyle, but not right now. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring up Fearless. What's going on?
How you doing, my brother? Everything good?
I'm doing well. Great to see you again. Glad to have you back.
All right. I'm glad to be back. I hope this is a great topic. You living overseas, I'm in the U.S., and maybe we might not see things eye to eye, but I think once we get to the end, I'm gonna persuade you to come my way. So
okay, I hope we don't see things eye to eye. That way we could have a show. It won't be like Corey and Anton, but some disagreeing can happen. That's fine.
You want to go outside? You want to go outside? We can go outside.
Yeah. So the first question that I have is, or the overall question of today's live stream is, do you believe that this second term with Donald Trump and his foreign diplomacy with Venezuela, South Africa, actually, now that I'm going back and thinking about it, yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff when it comes to his foreign diplomacy. South Africa, Nigeria. He just got Kenya to literally stop doing, or at least slow down a lot with the trade they're doing in China, which is good for us. And honestly, I think I don't know how good it'll be for Kenya, because they get more out of China as far as development than the U.S. Gives them. And then he's going after Mexico, Cuba. I even assume at some point, Brazil. We know he's after Iran. We know that he's after maybe even Nicaragua too. And those are some of the few that I can think of at the top of the head. But I've said since he's done his Maduro thing. Oh, and Greenland, I forgot to mention that. I said since he's done his Maduro thing, that every powerful dictator that thought they were untouchable for the past 20, 30 years is now realizing that they're not. And it basically, I think Trump is using his tactics of, I will, to get other countries to do. And this is the most extreme version this time. He didn't do this last time he was in office. So this is the most extreme version. I think that could eventually affect Americans living abroad. I even think it could contribute to possibly some terrorist attacks happening in the United States. We don't know. So to start, let's talk about some travel bans that he has. And I'm going to start off with the facts. So on December 16th, 2025, he expanded the travel ban to 19 additional countries, including Burkina Faso, which is a country that is not doing at all what the Western powers wants it to do, which they try to do the same thing they did to Maduro. There, it just hasn't succeeded. Laos, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Syria, and Palestinian Authority travel documents as well. I guess since they don't recognize it as a state, and all those countries are fully banned, and nationals of these countries are barred from entering the United States as immigration or non-immigrants with B1 or B2 visas, F and M student and J exchange visas. And another 20 countries were even placed under a partial ban recently, Kenya excluded, that suspends immigrant visas and many types of visitor visas. So I want to ask you, how do such broad travel bans affect the image of the United States and the day-to-day realities of Americans that are living abroad or their relatives from other countries? And does it make the United States safer, or does it isolate it more?
Let me preference this a little bit. Let's go back. So to answer your question, I think one, it makes us safer. Two, just because we ban another country, it's not going to stop that country from allowing us in. I know a lot of people in the chat, they talk this, but they never read this. So there's a few books that you should read, people you should know. The Art of War, 48 Laws of Power, and Machiavelli. And if you see those things that he's done, Machiavelli, let's just start off with one. We'll start off with one. And I just took some notes here so I can always refer to them. Machiavelli, it is always better to be feared than loved. We don't want to be loved. If you look at it, the reason you can exist and enjoy as much as you want as an expat is because of the Blue Book. That Blue Book, you on YouTube, I tell you what, let me start paying you in Nigerian dollars and Kenyan dollars and see how long you exist over there. Let me, you are by trade a professional barber, but you didn't go to those other countries saying, let me do some barber, because them barbers making $1 an hour. So the reason you can be the expat you are is because YouTube is paying you in US dollars. So fuck them. And I say that with great gratitude because we need to stay a superpower. When we lose our power, you lose your ability to be the expat you want to be. We lose our petrodollar, your money don't mean nothing. We start trading in Chinese yen. We start trading in something else. They always say cheaters never win. Shit, cheaters are remembered. I can go back to the presidential election of Bush and Gore. Nobody say Gore was like, oh man, yeah, Gore, he got cheated. And you win a Super Bowl by the ref calling a bad shot. You still won a Super Bowl. You cheated. And that's what I say. John F. Kennedy's dad was a bootlegger and made money doing something illegal. And because look at the legacy that they got. If Mr. Walmart cheated and got to where he at, you know what he gonna say when he's sitting on his yacht and you mad at him? And so yes, we are doing those things, but it gives us the power to get there, to be able to do certain things. So yes, there's countries that say, man, I don't like you. I don't like this. I don't like the policy. I don't like the government. And yes, we do things to other countries that we would, if they did to us, we would go to national war and destroy them. But that's what bullies do. If you can't be, look, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You may not like it. If there's a movie that I love, and maybe just the quotes that I see, A Few Good Men. When Jack Daniels said to them, look, who gonna stand on this line? I'm standing on this line. You are able to sleep at night because of the things that I do in the dark. So we may not like it, but the reason we can do that is because of what we do to those other countries. I know I'm in Texas. My gas is like $2.50. When I went to DR, I was like, God damn, $5.50 for, they do it in liters, but when you convert it, it's like $6 a gallon. You go to Europe, you're paying $6.50 a gallon. We're not paying that. And we're not paying that because of what we do. So, yeah, there may be a little eggs cracked over there, and there may be some, some people that get upset. But all of their technology, all of their fast food, basically all the things that they get is because of the umbrella that we provide. And once we go down, it affects everybody. And I'm going to be Machiavelli while I'm here, just so you know, and some 48 laws of power. But go ahead if you have another question.
I was about to say, so I definitely get that. The way how I've read partially, I mean, I've studied a lot of history, and I've even partially read the book, the Economic Hitman, where he's talking about how the corporations use the United States government to help basically bully to go get resources from other countries while keeping them poor. So that way, we gain leverage. And yes, our dollar goes further because of those things we did to gain leverage. And that's how we took over the world, was through bullying, as you said. But I'm just thinking in day-to-day interactions in certain countries, for those people living in those countries, the United States is probably safer. Yeah, if you're banning more immigrants, screening them heavier, using ICE to kick them out, yes, the United States. But what about those Americans living abroad? Or you're saying those countries might be too scared to make examples out of Americans in retaliation?
Let's take, what's a good country they do for tourism?
Thailand.
All right. You start saying Americans can't come and Americans can't use their dollar. That hurts their economy way more than it hurts our economy. Mm-hmm. Do you think we're saying, oh man, we just stopped the Thailand people from coming to the United States? It didn't affect us. But if you said, oh, no Americans can come over there. I've seen videos where it's like a slowdown when it was going through COVID and people couldn't travel. Their economy was affected because a lot of their economy is built on us coming there. Even whether it's the food we import, the technology we import, it's all based on that. So it's like saying somebody you don't like saying, I'm not going to talk to you no more. And you're like, I didn't even know you didn't talk to me anyway. And like, you're not going to talk. You're not going to be my friend anymore. Okay. You didn't do anything for me anyway. It doesn't affect me. So yes, I understand that diplomatically, it can be somewhat of an issue, but how many expats are there? If I'm the president, I'm not really, I know you're concerned because you're an expat, but I'm saying I'm worried about the people here. And if I take care of people here and I take care of the United States, it's just a downward effect. Because, wherever you go, where do people say, I'd rather you pay me in dollars? Because that's how much more powerful it is.
More stable.
Correct. I mean, I've seen the shows where in parts of Africa, they got a whole wheelbarrow worth of their money and you can't buy a loaf of bread with it. So unless you want a wheelbarrow of $100 bills and you can't buy anything with it, there's going to be a problem.
Okay. And so what about those families? I know your wife is someone that was an immigrant. I believe she's a U.S. citizen now. She's been in the States for a while, from my understanding. For those families that are waiting on spouse or parent visas, and they're devastated by these 75 countries that he put a visa pause on, even places like Bosnia and Albania. And I know before I made a statement that he doesn't like black or brown immigrants, but hey, Bosnia and Albania, they don't look like me. So apparent. That's shocking for me to see as well. But how should these people that are affected by that plan for that sort of pause, or what is it actually saying about? Because again, like, what if your wife wanted to bring her family here and she was affected by that visa pause? I mean, how would you view those policies now based off of that?
The policies will be bad, but here's what he's doing. It's not that he's setting the countries up because he doesn't like the countries or the people. And that maybe I'm putting words in his mouth. But it becomes a strategic thing. I think for far too long, our diplomacy is just giving things away. We give, but we don't receive. So the tactic becomes, you banned. And if I say you're banned, the first thing you say is, how can I become unbanned? Oh, well, now we can negotiate. You want to become unbanned? Here's the things you got to do. This, and this. Because I'm the person in power, but I think for far too long, we've always negotiated from a place of weakness. Whether it's with the UN, we spend the most money. Whether it was with tariffs, we always get taken advantage of. So now we want to come from a place of power. If I control all the cards, then I control all the rules. I say, yeah, I don't like the way this is set up. And you banned. Because, like you said, Bosnia banning us does nothing. We banning them, that gets their attention. And now to stop that, what is it that we can do as Bosnia to get back into good graces? And so it becomes a negotiation tactic. We may not like it, but that's how it works. That's how the real world works.
I think I definitely get what you're saying, because I remember whenever he did those tariffs before last year, it caused China. He gained a lot of leverage when his tariff war in between China, which seems to happen every time he starts that. With China is the hardest one for him to get to comply, but eventually it does happen.
And we can talk about Venezuela when it comes to that. People say, "Oh man, it's not moral. It's not this. Yeah, it may not be moral." But if we look deep, like when I first, heard of Venezuela, if I'm thinking as a world person, I'm like, man, I'm a humanitarian. And as a humanitarian, that was wrong. I mean, you went to another country, you kidnapped the president, you stole that person's president out of their country, and then you said you're going to take that oil. That sounds bad as a humanitarian. Now, if I say, all right, what's my interest? Am I interested in the world? Or am I interested in the power of America? And if my answer is I'm interested in the power of America, that's like, forget morality. I'm taking your oil. And here's the reason I'm taking your oil. When you look deeper, I know we said it was drugs. I think that's what people say. That's what we say to, we say that to the American people because they can't handle the truth. But what it was all about oil. The first thing that he did when he came in, he said, this is no longer the Gulf of Mexico, it's the Gulf of America. Why did we, that was his first thing. The second thing is, why did we give back the Panama Canal? So we built it, it's ours. We don't need to give it back. And if you go back to the war, one of the reasons we were successful when it came to World War II, and it's very difficult to come after the United States, is we have two fronts, the Atlantic and the Pacific. So in order to come after the United States, you have to fight them on two fronts, which is very difficult. So fighting us on two fronts becomes hard. But when you open up the Panama Canal, now you can have anybody coming from one coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and we have no control over that. The first thing that he did was, he said, nah, Hong Kong, there was a company in Hong Kong that owned it. He said, no, that can't happen. You got to get that back. He took back the Panama Canal, and then like some American company got it. Weeks after that, what did he start doing? See, when he cut the the canal down, he said, oh, well, man, China's here. China's in the Caribbean. China's been all over. In order to stop that, you can't just say I'm sending in for China. He says, I mean, there's some drug boats. So then we show our authority. What do we show our authority doing? We bring in our destroyers. We bring in our aircraft. We had about 6 aircraft carriers sitting and submarines sitting in the Caribbean. Do you think that an aircraft carrier with a destroyer, with nukes, with submarines, was there for some fishing boats?
Right.
Destroy some cocaine? Dudes who got boats that can only travel 100 miles and our coast is 2,000 miles? No, that was never for them. But that was the conduit for us to get there. So we destroy those boats. It was to show strength in the Caribbean, that you come here, this is what you're going to deal with. The worst thing that can happen is in the 70s, Nixon took us off of the gold standard. We made a deal with Saudi Arabia to protect Saudi Arabia so we could get oil cheap. Now they start trading in other dollars, and the goal of that was we're going to trade in the petrodollar. The reason we can accumulate so much debt and run the world is because everyone is dependent on us and they have to trade in our money. So once we got control of the Panama Canal, we said, all right, well, we're not going to let Venezuela trade with China because they had already done a deal. I think Saudi Arabia trading outside of the petrodollar. Said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take this over. We're going to take the country. We're going to control the oil and control the minerals. Now that sounds like that's bad. But if you look on the economic scale, you never, and I think there was even where's my Machiavelli quote on here? I had one of them. You never let your enemy become more powerful than you. And so that's what it said. We're not going to let another country trade in another currency and take us out of our superpower position.
So with him, with South Africa hosting, I believe it's Russia and China. I know for sure China with their warships to practice drills. I think that I said before, what I believe is that BRICS is understanding that the financial aspect of just trying to de-dollarize by signing treaties with each other and trading amongst each other is not enough, because with the United States, what they'll do is we have the best military, so we'll go take it and make you comply. So what do you think is up next in between this new scenario with South Africa and China?
The problem with China is they got a lot of people, and they think long term. We think in seconds and months, and they think in years and decades and centuries. So if you don't crush them now, if you don't start to take over, there's still a finite amount of resources. If you don't start taking those resources now, we give them to China, we let China control that. No. And I'm not saying, and if you hear me, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this as a person who's sitting back as the American government. They're looking at it like, no, we don't fight fair. One of Machiavelli's things, it says, crush your enemy totally. Instead of ending sanctions, we cut off oil flow, we cut off finances, we cut off influence. Half measures prolong the conflict, total leverage ends it. A lot of these guys, and I know y'all do it, man, because I hear it, 50 cent laws of power and this. Y'all say this and y'all say y'all read these books, but y'all don't understand what these real strategies are. When you hear a Machiavelli and he says, it's the winners that are remembered. They don't care how you got there. That's what happens. And the supreme, like another one, the art of war. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Energy dominance replaces military conflict. Dollar dominance replaces troop deployment. Supply chain controls and replaces and prolongs war. Every barrel of oil controlled is one less bullet fired.
Okay, I could definitely see that. So, but I mean, I'm just curious to see, like, with him attacking Mexico or wanting to attack Mexico. I mean, they've already been doing their surveillance. I don't know if they've been bombing yet since they've declared the Mexican cartels terrorists.
I'm gonna help you out before I know where you're going.
Yeah.
When I was in school, long time ago, man, long time ago, my brother used to pay somebody to bully me. Yeah, he used to beat me up. He's like 3 years older than me. One day I got a little older. I didn't really want to fight, but I got my buttons pushed and I fought. And like I kicked some ass to the point where it became like, yeah, you shouldn't do that again. Do you know how many times I had to fight after that? None. My rumor preceded me. It's like, man, don't mess with Fearless, man. He crazy as fuck. I mean, he the shit he do, because I did it to one person. So me messing up one person stopped me from fighting everybody else because they knew the capabilities. So what we did to Venezuela and how easily we did it, we don't need to fight Mexico. We don't need to fight these other people because we already showed what we're capable of. So doing that, it becomes a threat. And the threat becomes, man, look, you already seen what we did to this country. And you know how easily we did it. Do you know how easily we can do that to you?
So with that being said as well, I mean, so I'm curious now that I'm listening to your view. So what do you think about the ICE situation in the United States? Do you feel that it is necessary?
Y'all got to watch me at 8 o'clock tonight. I got a show on. All right. So I'm going to contradict everything I just said. So here's the thing. All right. That's outside the United States. Now, what I just talked about was our supremacy outside of the United States, Mexico, Venezuela, things like that. What ICE is doing is affecting people who are citizens inside the United States. Totally different. When you start affecting your people, your American citizens, then I got a problem with that. And I think what has happened is with ICE, yeah, we detain American citizens, we're profiling, and you can't do that to the American citizens. If you're going to fight, because then what happens is, we got more guns than people. And then we start uprising. And you don't want a civil war. You don't want that type of democracy inside the United States. So I'm not saying, hey, yeah, for the people outside, correct. There needs to be a legal way. What ICE is doing to the American citizens, I don't agree with.
Okay. So, I mean, I just wanted to get deeper into what you were saying. So you said you're going to contradict yourself on your beliefs at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, no, in a sense that, even though I'm saying Trump is good, I think diplomatically for the world, and that strategy works on the world because what you're doing is protecting American interest. But when you go against your own American people, that's when the issue becomes a problem.
Anybody have any input? Because I see there's a lot of people saying some things in the comments. I mean, I honestly am glad to hear. Like, I want more Maduro stories to happen. Like, there's a lot of people that have been getting away with a lot of stuff. And again, of course, there's a lot of people that have been getting away with a lot of stuff, and they will continue to because the United States does not have enough financial interest there. But in Venezuela, there was enough financial interest. So that's why that did happen.
And I don't go with some points. I know some people say F Trump. I see some, bad at Trump. But Trump practices realistic diplomacy, not morale diplomacy. The world is not run on values. It's run on leverage, resources, and deterrence. That's just how it is. You don't win a global competition by asking permission. That's not how you become the superpower. You take it. You take it. if let's say it this way. I know a lot of people watch the zombie movies and stuff like that. If the world was coming and there was some oil or there was something sitting there and something you say and you try to be nice and diplomatic, and then you have a person that says, I'm taking it, who gonna win? Like, this is all mine, and who's gonna win? Joe, that is incorrect, my brother. You are so incorrect on that. And maybe you should tune in at 9 o'clock. But maybe I can even find if Austin allows me. They are detaining American citizens, and they are asking for people to prove that they are American citizens. And if you walk around in the streets, you really don't have a proof, especially if you don't have a real ID or your passport or your birth certificate on you. So they are not only detaining United States citizens. There was one story where they detained a gentleman in San Diego who was actually in his Marine or Navy uniform. So you say they aren't messing with U.S. citizens. I don't know how far you want to go off of that, but I can show you rather quickly, and maybe I can even just show it on my phone rather quickly, how fast they are messing with U.S. citizens. So I know we want to say that they're not, but give me a second, Austin. If I can find this out real quick. I know I got a few.
Okay. And then after that, we'll get into the story everybody wants us to cover again.
Man. Woo! Goodness gracious. I got some things on that too. That gentleman. Let's see if I can find this for you real quick. But yeah, they are, and that's where I have the issue at, what they are doing to the American citizens, because we have certain rights, and we aren't allowing those rights. So let's see if I can.
Oh, I seen this one.
Yeah. He's saying don't run. See, as an American citizen, we have certain rights. There's probable cause. And look what they do to this dude. You can't, there's no just stop and frisk and do that. So when you say they aren't doing it, how do you prove you're an American citizen? You can't just do someone like that. We have certain rights as U.S. citizens. And so, yeah, what ICE is doing is, and the problem is you can't sue them. I mean, you can sue them, but it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult to do that. Very difficult.
Since we've kind of covered that, I don't think we disagree too much on that topic. I think we should have had a third person that was a super ICE, super pro ICE, and super anti capturing Maduro, because we would have had more of a debate. Now, let me ask you this: do you think that Anton Daniels is a sellout?
Man, okay, we're gonna switch topics. We're gonna just go straight to me like that. So I need to be unbiased in this. And before I proceed, I have to say this: I have done a few coaching calls with Anton Daniels when he was doing coaching calls. I have been on his show before, and so let me tell some things in a sense behind the scenes, and then we can go forward with that. In one sense, I see him as the Hodge twins, Officer Tatum, Candace Owens type person, but he is chasing that money. When I talk to Anton, and if you've ever looked at his content, I tried, I think last year, the middle of last year, I said, I'm going to try to emulate the amount of videos and things that he puts out. Couldn't do it. I counted one day the amount of videos that he released, and it was like 20, close to 20 videos. That's like, man, You can read that if you want. Let's see.
So
It's so sad. Go ahead. I'll let you read that.
he said it's so sad that you have black men agreeing with white supremacists. I never thought I would see this. This man is talking about we when the white folks don't care nothing about him.
Then I tell you what, how easy when you say that they don't care nothing about me. I'm not there for them to care about me. I care about myself. And so I vote and I put policies in place to help me out. I don't care about him. I know what helps me. And lower oil helps me. Being domineering helps me. Being able to go to any country almost in the world helps me. I don't care. I don't have to supreme with him. My money is green. It didn't white. It didn't black. That's some green money. And so I don't have to. And see, here goes the problem with a lot of black people. We get in an argument and we can't work together. I've been in positions where there was a lot of money on the table. And because I don't like you, because of something you did, we can't do nothing. You know what Jewish people and white people and Asian people do? I don't have to like you. We don't get married for love. We got married for business.
Yeah,
You think they like each other? They don't like each other. It becomes about what is in my best interest.
yeah.
What is going to help me out? I don't have to like you to make money off of you. And that's
Yeah,
what the dad, I don't, in agreeing with you and saying, you know, I can agree with somebody and not have the same morals as somebody. I don't agree with my wife all the time, but I'm going to do what's in my best interest for that. Let me ask you this. Let me say, you don't agree. Let me put it in terms y'all might understand. There have been chicks I wanted to get with back in my day. I didn't like them. I knew that they was crazy. I wasn't going to get with them, but I had one goal, was to get in them draws. And if that was my goal, I wasn't talking about everything else. I didn't have to agree with I didn't have to agree with their politics. I didn't agree with their mama said. I had to agree with their boyfriend. I had one goal. And so my goal, I focused on that. While y'all focused on, yeah, she's this, the baby mama, whatever. That wasn't my goal, was to have relations. And so I can eliminate everything else to get to that goal. Where you mess yourself up, I don't agree with them, that's not my goal. And so when you focus to get to your goal, everything else doesn't matter. We get so tied up with the process that we lose out. And that's why we lose out. We don't know the goal. White people know the goal. That's why Mr. Tenderism done lost this thing. The white dudes knew the goal. They knew how to ban. They knew how to put stuff in copyright because they knew what the goal was. While we over here sucking and jiving and talking about how good the ribs fall off the bone. Somebody else is thinking about the money and we thinking about how it looks. So when you stop thinking about how things looks and start thinking at the bottom line, we'll be much better. I digress.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you on the fact that those groups of people do understand how to work together, even if they don't like each other. I always use the example of like during colonization, you know, the British and the French still traded. They still had trades. They still traded with each other, even though that they were also fighting over territories as well. You know, they allied with different countries to have a similar goal, like what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Now,
and even though we fight with China, we have things with China, there are certain lines we can't cross because we have so much monetary things going together. For instance, we may fight over oil, but they depended upon us for electronics, or we're dependent upon them for this. So in that sense, we have to agree.
Yeah,
So
but
my little one in the back just woke up.
I see what you are saying about he's focused on the goal, and that's what I mean, and I that's what I get from him too. I do remember whenever I met you in person, you told me you did a consultation with him. But what is, because I think I know for a fact he has to be sticking to a narrative.
Yeah, so I've made, all right, so I'm saying in one sense, I had a consultation with him. I talked to him. I seen that. But my biggest videos where I had like 100,000 views was actually roasting Anton. So on that sense, yes. So I roasted Anton. I mean, I've been on his shows going at him, and then I had a consultation with him. And so the first time I'm like, damn, all right, once, it's like, all right, we're going to have this consultation. And then once he opens up the Zoom and he sees who it is, we're going to have problems. He opened up the Zoom. He's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, yeah, man, I did this. He was like, man, that's internet. That's YouTube. Like, he made a big difference between what he's seen on YouTube compared to what he's seen in real life. And it really shocked me because he really didn't carry that over. And so I think some of it, of what he does, is a lot of performance. A lot of performance. He was talking about Kenyon Martin. He said something like, oh, Kenyon Martin, he was a Neanderthal. He did this. When it comes to this, though, at first, I was like, yeah, Anton, right, man. He went on the show and I knew what the purpose was, but the more and more I looked at it, the more and more I don't agree with Anton on this. I think he contradicted himself stupendously. For instance, he's always, if you are a man and you argue with him or you get angry, he calls you emotional. And he says, being emotional is a feminine trait. But the hypocrisy is he was emotional on this show. Very emotional. I mean, screaming, hollering. If you call yourself a professional black man and you're a millionaire and you don't got all this money, there should be a certain decorum or a certain way that you would carry yourself. And he didn't carry himself that way. So the same thing he accuses other people of doing, he was doing. He was on there and he said it before. I knew what I was stepping into. And so he was clout chasing. Anton left the podcast, after being confronted. And then what did he do? If you're a real man and you stoic, you just step back. Yeah, that happened. I let it roll. In that instance, Corey has outshined him in every way. I have not heard anything. I haven't heard from Corey. I haven't heard Corey go on a show and say anything. As soon as Anton left that show, this brother is on, he dial into his Instagram. He on everybody's show, Angry Man show. Hey, yeah, this is what happened, man. He get on a Fugazi show. Yeah, I was going to take him out. He get on his show. That to me is feminine energy. The same thing you said you didn't like about, now you gossiping. Now you trying to clout chase. Now you getting on every channel trying to follow everything after that. That's not being stoic. That's not being a man. That's not stepping back and say, yeah, that happened. I'll let y'all decide. If you don't care what the people say, and your thing is, I don't care what the audience says, your actions didn't prove that. Your actions showed you chasing the clout. That you retelling the story. You escalating in every part. Corey just, yeah, it happened. Get off the show. Number two, and if you want to go through, I'll say some other things that really tick me off about it. I don't like the fact that you say you married to a black woman for 20-something years and she's this. But the only woman I ever see you with is somebody other than your wife. You have to be an example, because it's not, you can be loyal to your wife. You can be faithful to your wife. You can do all of those things. But if you out here showing somebody else your reputation or how other people view you or how you're going to look to the public matters more than how faithful you are. You bringing another woman out to LA, you bring another woman on the show, you bringing another woman, where your hotel is at, and you chilling. I ain't saying nothing ever happened, but that perception sometimes is more than reality. That's not good. If one of your pillars is that I'm married, black woman, and I've been married 20 years. If that's your pillar, you're not standing too good on that pillar. Because my wife even said it. Look, in her country, she said, the men cheat. They cheat a lot. They always cheat. But what they don't do is put somebody before their wife. So if they out, their wife always becomes first. Nobody else looks like that. And I don't think that he really did that. Number 4, he never really answered the question when it came to what Corey said. Corey was talking about, man, you don't say anything about white males or white people, white males. And I watched Anton's response. And Anton was like, yeah, I talk about white people all the time. And he went back to his shows. And yes, liberal white women he talks about. He had to go back 3 years when he had a discussion talking about a white man. So in that sense, Corey was correct. He doesn't really say anything about white males. He doesn't really put them out there. It's easy to talk about the liberal white woman because, you know, that they're not really Republican. That's not that. That may be, you know, more liberal. But it was 3 years that he went back to talk about a white dude. So
wow. So do you think he was? So you say you think it's a performance. Do you think that he was scared? Whatever that scene got where he got in his face over here.
I would say no.
I don't do that.
Tell you,
I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit.
I'm gonna give you the same
Let's
energy
switch
you give me.
Let's switch seats. Let's switch seats.
I'm with it.
Homie, I don't do no dick sucking shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit.
I don't give a fuck about nothing.
Well, I tell you what, watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking,
You
homie.
say a lot of shit that I don't fuck with either. You
Okay, but that gay shit, oh, you
I
go.
don't give a fuck about what you talking
Hey,
about.
homie, I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put no dick sucking shit. Don't put no dick sucking shit on me, nigga.
I'm from Detroit.
Say
right
I
now.
suck a dick again.
I'm right here, right now.
All right, that's
Now,
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna respect you.
Dance around it. Dance around it.
No. I'm a
Pause that for a
no
second.
dick
Pause
sucking
that.
shit.
I'm a respect.
I never knew what it means when somebody say they from somewhere. I know some dudes from New York. I know some sissies from New York. I know some strong dudes from New York. I know some beasts from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know really what that means when you say you from somewhere. It doesn't, you know, that really doesn't hang on to me. But all right, I tell you what, you ever see the boxing matches and you see the two dudes standing up and they face to face? There's only two swings. You can't get in an all-out brawl. Meaning, if I'm there and I go to swing, you swing, and then somebody come and grab us. So when you say scared, they both got people that's not going to let it go far enough. So the fight can't really go anywhere. The fight is a 2 or 3 swing fight. That's it. And it's just whoever got lucky then. And so it would never conclude who won. So I wouldn't say scared, because right behind Anton, he got somebody. Right in the crowd, Corey got somebody. But they both know, as much stuff as they talked, what they both know is, and this is hypocritical on both of them. I'm from Detroit. Don't call me this. Neither one of them gonna do nothing, because you know why? You know what's more powerful than that talk?
Yeah.
And that fighting on YouTube will get a cancel, and that messes up the bag. I can do this, but I can't mess up the bag. So there's always that line that I can't cross, because I know what the consequences are. And both of them, you can take somebody ignorant who don't care about the bag because they ain't making money. But when you're making money like Corey and Anton, that's a hit to your brand. And so this is just the wolf tickets talking to get to the brand, to save face.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I get what you mean whenever people say, "Oh, I'm from the hood," or "I'm from Atlanta." And I'm like, okay, I mean,
What that means?
you from the hood. Everybody in the hood ain't winning fights. So, I mean, that don't mean.
respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation.
We good.
But you not bossing up on me.
Yo,
We good. I did already. I don't do
Nigga, we
dick
can put
sucking
the
shit.
microphone right down,
Yo.
right now, and go on her back. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Homie, you just running your mouth.
I'm not running my mouth.
got a
You
question
running
for
your mouth.
Anton.
I don't do
You
no
doing
dick
this shit for
sucking
the
shit.
internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want
I'll
to say
show
Anton,
you I ain't doing it for the internet.
if you
I'm
want to
saying,
say Anton,
I'm
listen,
saying,
don't
I'ma let
disrespect
you
me like
finish.
that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that. I'll respect you, but don't boss up on me, because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. But I let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm gonna extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how would it
Call this nigga out his name.
Nigga, I'm telling you that
But I
you
will.
did.
All
You
right,
can't
pause
tell
that
me
for a
how I get
second.
disrespected.
I got a question for bro.
I think these are two people who don't see nothing eye to eye. And I say that when he said, you don't know me. What surprised me the most when I came down south to like Dallas and Houston and places, I never in my life seen somebody who was not black call a black the N-word. I never seen. And then when I came here, it was like the Latinos say it all the time. Like, and I was like, wait, hold up, man. And so if I was Corey, they talking from two different perspectives. Corey, like, man, we don't talk like that. In the hood, that is fighting words. Anton coming from like, we can disrespect all we want because this is just this. So they're two people who talking at each other and not to each other. And they have entirely different landscapes as you see things. There's a different respect level where Corey is like, my respect, if you disrespect me by saying anything, we got to go. Anton, I don't care what you say to me. You know, this is just the internet. You're not saying it in real life. That doesn't mean anything. So they're not really seeing common eye to eye where they should have stepped back and said, hey, in my world, that's disrespectful. Like when I came here, I was like, man, you know, I'm hearing the essays use the N-word more than I heard up north. I'm like, what? You know, but to them, it was just their regular vernacular. If I came at them and said, don't do this, they'd be like, bro, we've been doing this since, this is just how we talk. I'm coming to their space telling them what they're doing is wrong because we just not have an understanding. I'm coming in from my perspective and they coming from their perspective. And that's, I think, where the breakdown came from. But Detroit, Michigan don't really mean that. I don't know what that means. Canada just right across the street. So
yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
No. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. We just getting loud. I ain't gonna get loud.
Then don't switch seats.
No,
This
is my show. This
cool.
my show.
That's cool, but I take that shit as a threat.
Okay. Well,
and if you see that right there, just in that point, Corey was saying, I ain't really fighting. I'm just getting loud. We just talking loud. And there's some people who do that. If I'm with my wife's family, or shoot, if I'm with my sisters, man, goodness gracious. If I'm home with my sisters, people who come over who never spent time with like the family, with the sisters, they be like, they about to fight? You know, what they arguing about? And I'm perplexed. I'm like, what are you talking about? They be like, man, your sisters, they about to fight? I'm like, no, they just talking. Like, they really just having a conversation. They not mad at nobody. They not angry, but they loud talkers. They expressive when they talk. They talk like this. And they getting, that's how they talk. They not angry. That's just how they talk. And I think that's where Corey's coming from. Like, we just talking loud. We haven't even crossed the line to get there. Anton doesn't see it like that. He thinks you move seats and it's something we got to go around. It's a real bad miscommunication that they have because they not seeing things the way they would see it on a normal basis. They coming from two different perspectives. Yeah, I see my man LJ said if they ran the fade, yeah, look, they 50 years old, man. Hey, look, you ain't running the fade that long. You got about a good 15 to 30 seconds because both of them brothers is not working out. They got 15, 30 seconds, and that's it. They winded. So they not running the fade. They running wolf tickets, and then they gonna be bruised up afterwards. They both gonna need some physical therapy.
Yeah.
I don't dick suck, my nigga.
Man, fuck what you talking about.
I don't dick suck.
If you want to get back to the conversation, because you ain't gonna do shit. Because you're not gonna do shit.
Come at me with that dick sucking shit again, nigga.
You're not gonna
come at me with. Say I suck dick again, nigga.
We can go out back right now.
Fuck I am.
We can go out back right now. I'm with it.
I bet you won't say that shit.
We can go out back right now.
I got money for all this. Whatever.
I got money too. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit.
Hey,
no, it's just not respect.
I ain't falling for I ain't falling. Darlene, get out the way. Don't get in the way of two niggas. Let me tell you something, homie. I ain't got to go out back right now because we got to go out back to lead this motherfucker. But I'm saying that dick sucking shit, watch that. That's all I'm saying. And if I don't say it how you like
If you want to
okay,
get back to the
but
conversation, we can get back to the conversation.
But just know,
I'm not
ain't
listening to
dick
none of that
suckers
shit,
up
bro.
here, nigga.
I'm not listening to none of that shit. If you want to get
Bet.
back to the conversation,
Long as you
we can
know.
get back to the conversation.
Long as you
Pause that for
You
one
not-
second.
you not-
Pause that. There's a few things. One, look, we got to be careful as content creators because I don't think it's the Corey, or even the Anton. It's the people who follow them that are really unpredictable. I think in Las Vegas earlier this year, there was some dude that they seen him in Las Vegas and he ended up like shooting him and his girl. So those are the unpredictabilities that happen out there. That's number one. Number two, this is not a part. I think this is more, and I'm not saying who won or lost. This is more of Corey's brand than Anton's brand. Corey's like, hey, I'm street, I'm thug, don't do this. Anton messed up because he went out of character. I'm tough, I'm fighting. What do you say? I'm tough, I fight all the time. Brother, if you 42 years old and you fight all the time, that's a problem.
Yeah.
If you pass high school and you fighting all the time, that's not maturity, man. You have really messed up. That is not masculinity. That's some crazy stuff. That means you don't either know how to deal with your aggression. You don't know how to talk things out. You can't boast how mature you are, how tough you are, how you do things on one sense. That's masculinity inconsistence. And that's crazy. Your brand is, oh, I'm mature. I make this money. I do all of this. He even said, now hold up. I seen Anton say that he would not let Tommy Sotomayor onto his show because Tommy is banned. And because of that, he doesn't want Tommy to mess up his brand. He doesn't want to bring Tommy Sotomayor onto his show because it messes up his brand. What did you just do here, bro? How did this in any way? It got people talking, bro. It got people talking. But the brand that you stand for, it doesn't help that out. It made what you do very hypocritical. Very hypocritical. Go ahead.
I would agree.
Thing straight.
For sure. I got a question for bro though.
And I'm gonna respect him on that.
Yes, sir.
He said what he said, so I'm gonna respect him on that.
Yes, sir. So question, given that black people are on the Democratic plantation, what do you say about the use of Christianity to make slaves out of black people?
In what, today's time or historically?
No, sir. Historically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was used in a negative way, but anything can be used in a positive and negative way. You can weaponize literally anything. Corporate America, for example. You can use the internet in order to push out propaganda, or you can use it to communicate effectively with the people. You can use money to manipulate people, or you can use it to help people. And so you can't just say that Christianity itself is used. The Quran is used in a negative way in order to.
I know I keep interrupting, but this is where ideology becomes different. Corey doesn't see it like that. Corey sees it as the glass is half empty. Anton sees it as the glass is half full. You get stopped by the cops. Anton say, you should just comply. You should just listen. Corey says, the fuck I gotta listen for? You telling me stuff that I shouldn't be doing. You profiling. It's the same stop, but they seeing it in two different ways. Anton has this mentality that everybody should just be able to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, that there should be no roadblocks that get you. Okay, you can do that. But Corey sees it as, brother, there's some roadblocks. There's some things that people put there. There's racism, there's discrimination, there's obstacles that don't let you get so far. So they can't see it eye to eye because the same picture that they see is completely different. They don't see it in any way. And that's why they can't even get along, because it's just water and oil. It doesn't mix. Corey's always going to see it from a perspective that there's a certain element that's holding me down, that there's things out there that's in hindrance. Anton always going to see it as there's no hindrance. You should be able to do it no matter what happens. No matter what happens, you know, you poor, you should still get there. Your mama this, you should still be able to get there. Nothing happened to you that you can't overcome. And that's a sad way to see things, because by doing that, you really do not see a full picture. You're only seeing it from an optimistic point of view. Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Everybody can't be Oprah Winfrey. And I say this is the analogy that I give. There are two twins. Their parents are alcoholics. They say to one twin, man, why aren't you an alcoholic? And he says, shit, I'm not an alcoholic because I seen them two crazy parents I had drinking all the time, doing this all the time. So I knew I wasn't going to be an alcoholic. They go to the other twin and they say, why are you an alcoholic? And he says, shh, look what I had to deal with. I see my parents drinking every day. They brought drinks in. I was drinking at a young age. That's the only thing I had to look up to. So two people seeing the exact same thing and have a different reaction to it. So Anton's philosophy can't always work, and Corey's philosophy can't work, because you can't be an excuse for everything you do. And that's the problem. They are not seeing they talking over each other. They not talking to each other. I'm sorry for interrupting you, brother. I'm getting all emotional here, like I'm in the middle about to break them up.
No, that's good right there. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today with that story. Yeah, I mean, so you said,
but let me ask you, man. Let me, and I'm gonna let you wrap it up. But you're a content creator, man. You got people that come there. How would you deal with this? You got somebody that comes over to Kenya, or you got somebody, you came back to Dallas and they're getting in your face. How you deal with it? And not just there, like they doing it on live. I mean, you walk away, you this, or you just have somebody who just talking crap about you, because you see it in the comments. People always going to talk negatively. And I told you that. I said, man, you know, we talked behind the scenes, and I said, you don't need to prove that to nobody, because they're going to feel the same way. No matter what, they're going to have the same way they're going to feel. But how would you deal with it? And what is your philosophy behind that? And then I'll give me 15 minutes, because I know you got to go somewhere, but I'm going to ask you some questions. First, we're going to talk about that.
I mean, honestly, I think the way that Anton handled it was, I mean, yeah, he did yell and all that, you know, and, you know, maybe he was contradicting how he says that with black people, you know, he was doing the same thing. But I think both of them were taking into account that they was on live, and really it was a matter of who's gonna like lose it enough to be like, okay, fuck it. You know, this YouTube channel doesn't matter. I don't care if I get, like you said, get banned on YouTube or something like that. Because I think if that wouldn't have been on camera, maybe something would have happened. You know, so honestly, I probably would have handled it the same way, just thinking about the optics of it.
So how do you handle when somebody comes there, or you meet somebody in real life and they talking that sideways?
I mean, again, it's going to be a similar scenario. I mean, I probably wouldn't have gotten as upset. I mean, if I was Corey, if I was on his side, I probably wouldn't have been offended, because we're from a different generation. I mean, it's not seen as respectful either, but I know y'all's generation is it's certain stuff that was just different. Yeah, it's just certain stuff that was different. But I mean, I'm pretty good at de-escalating situations before they get there. Like if I have to put my hands on somebody, anybody would have did it, and so it's always justifiable if I did it. But it depends on the scenario. I mean, if somebody's touching me, yeah, but I mean, again, they're just talking. But I mean, again, it depends on what you're saying, and like when you start yelling, like yeah, that changes it. So you have to, when you see somebody yelling, you got to kind of just realize, okay, you know, fuck it, before I lose my cool. But yeah, once you start yelling, man, it's the logic starts to go out the window.
See, I'm at an age and I've been through so much that I know the consequences, and not just the consequences of that. I know that what it can lead to, and I know I think Tupac said it. He said, I got hemmed up from a dude way back that was trying to get some get back. And so I already know, like you being a person that would be known, I'm being a person that has put my information out there, that becomes more dangerous. It's actually more intelligent. I have, even though the names say, let me see, even though they say fearless, somebody say, what do you fear? It used to be nothing. Like, nah. But now when I think about it, I fear the person who got nothing to lose, because I got everything to lose. I got a daughter, I got a family, I got money, I got people responsible for me. So the person that is most fearful to me is the dude who don't have nothing. It's almost like the girl you date. If you date a girl who has nothing, she'll destroy you because she has nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. So the person that I fear is the person who has nothing. And so it would be very difficult for me to get in that confrontation, because a lot of people just don't have nothing to lose. And they fine with going to prison for, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's, their life didn't have anything to begin with. Switching comments, I'm going to ask you, I'm not overseas. I can only see it from the perspective of being in the United States. How has Trump affected your travel? How people see you over there? Because sometimes you may say I'm black. I'm a black person. I'm a black American. But what they hear is, they don't hear the black, they hear American. You black, and you might think I'm in Kenya and I'm black, but you're not Kenyan. You're not Nigerian. You're not African. You American. How does that affect you?
So what I would say is, I've experienced it a few times here in Namibia and in South Africa, where mainly just immigration, not on the street out and about, but in immigration, they give you a really hard time coming into South Africa. And it was with me. I heard a story about Khalees going through something like that, where she had to get her lawyer to fly from LA to get her visa to South Africa, which we don't even need a visa for South Africa, but they're essentially just fucking with us now because of the stuff that's going on with Trump. I remember we came to Namibia the first time. The guy, Bobby, I've been hanging out with for about a year, almost 2 years now. I was looking over and the immigration officer was throwing her hands up. He ain't really said nothing. And she was like just pushing him to see if he was going to like
react.
The same thing with Anton, like to see who was going to do what. And she told him at the end, like, yeah, I just like to mess with Americans when y'all come through here because of Trump. And so in that scenario, immigration and them giving you a hard time, yeah, I can see that. But on the street, out and about, like something would have to really, I'm pretty sure right now, if you went to Venezuela, it wouldn't be a good idea.
But do you think the Venezuelans look at you as an American? You think they separate, and just even where you're at, do they separate the government from the person?
No, absolutely not.
So they still see you just as whatever Trump did, you part of that regime.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, I'm black. I mean, I've spoken.
Do you think that helps? All right. Do you think that helps you out? Because if you was white, blonde hair, blue eyes, do you think that would be more difficult for you now, traveling overseas, or less difficult for you in a political sense?
In a political sense, I think it would be harder for the white guys because, like, they look like them. They know we didn't do it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I could see that, because when they look, you're like, bro, I'm struggling just like you. That's why I'm not there now. I'm not part of that regime. So I could understand that. But other than going through customs with the tariffs, with anything like that, has it affected your travel? Has it affected how, you move? Or any country that you've been to that, we have politically done something to, has that messed you up? Or do people blame you? Like, I've seen people blame me when I was in Jamaica, and I was like, brother, what this got to do with me?
I haven't, but I will say that I've been to one of the countries that the United States has destroyed, which was Vietnam. and they were a lot more welcoming than they should have been due to the history. So yes, that stuff does affect us, but again, I think it's just when it comes to customs, or maybe if you go to jail, or you got to go to some sort of government office to get I don't know, a visa or something. Yeah, in those scenarios, yeah, they'll probably give you a hard time. Maybe they might even extort you, but regular folks on the street, nah.
So and the thing is, they still see United States as economically viable. That's why prices for us are always different than the normal person. If it costs them $1, it costs us $3 for no other reason that we just American. We seem in that sense. So what about the exploitation? How do you handle the exploitation?
I mean, I don't think I've been exploited because of the stuff that's been going on with Trump recently, but I mean, hey, honestly, like, there's nothing you could do about it, really. This is just, I tell people, this is what comes with moving to a developing country.
Now, do you have a fear that because of Trump's maybe not current policies, but future policies, that it could endanger how you travel or where you're at? Meaning, oh man, he just put a ban on this African, or he just took their oil, or I think what he did something in Nigeria, like we bombed them or something like that. Has that ever come to you, like, man, this dude is messing, he's like that player hater. He's like the cock blocker. Like, this dude messing up my game, man. It's going smooth over here for me now. And everything he does is messing it up.
No, I honestly don't think, like, again, there would have to be something like really, really serious, like Venezuela. Like I said, if you were in Venezuela, just because, I mean, look at what happened in Benghazi, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a textbook example of, okay, like, y'all work for the embassy. We know the embassy wasn't involved in overthrowing Gaddafi or anything like that, but y'all here, and we pissed off because this happened. So wrong place, wrong time.
No, man, it's like that blacks. It's like, well, I know that's the black that whistled at the girl, but any black could do right now. We're gonna string them up anybody. I guess that's how it is in the South. We know you didn't do it, but you're the closest thing we can get to that right now. So yeah, I do understand that. I mean, I don't understand it, but I seen how that's happened.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I know you might have some company back there. I know you're looking back like it's time to go. So if you need to wrap things up, I will let you go. I won't hold you further, man. It's been a great conversation. I hope that your travels are safe there. And I can't say that Trump's overseas diplomacy will get any better. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for what he's going to do. So
yeah, we'll have to do a follow-up on a particular story and invite some contradicting, passionate people like that are like gonna discuss. I think we agree on a good amount of things. I mean, it's hard for me to. I don't really see no way I could debate you or nothing like that. So I think we need to find.
Do you think it was okay with Trump? I mean, I don't know. Just you think it was okay for Trump to go into Venezuela, kidnap the president, take him back?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the president literally said, "Come and get me."
Yeah, that's not a.
And he got what he was looking for, and he was drinking alcohol, sounding about "come and get me," telling Elon Musk to fight him. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to remember, you still fucking with the United States. Like, they've overthrown 1 million countries. Like,
we've been through that, man. We have been through that. But I will say that, I may not agree with it. I don't like the methods. But I do understand for us to remain who we are, what needs to be done. And that's why I said heavy is the head that wears the crown, because those are decisions that nobody wants to make. But, somebody has to make them.
yeah.
Somebody has to make them.
Well, yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna reach out to you. We'll have to do another, like I said, another live stream on something. Following up, we'll see probably Iran next, because that's what's up next.
All right. And brother, remember you owe me a consultation.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
remember that, do you? You don't remember
That's
that?
right. That's right.
I give a little thing. You said, you know, when you're thinking about settling down a little more, you said you're gonna come to me. So when you're ready for that consultation, when you're ready to cross those lines, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that'll be. I'm getting there. So yeah, it sounds about right.
All right, brother, man. You take care. I know it's late there. Get some rest, get some sleep. Enjoy your day.
You as well.
All right, brother.
All right.